Welcome to Everything Money. I'm Seth, the host of the show. I'm here with Paul and Mo. If you are interested in investing and trading stocks at a quicker pace, you might be wondering, what is momentum trading? I've wondered this too, Paul. I'm glad we're doing this video. In fact, I'm treating this as a learning session for me. I'd like to get your thoughts. We're going to talk about the book, The Complete TurtleTrader. Paul, I started this book, Mo, and I'm embarrassed to say...
It didn't speak to you? You didn't like it?
Maybe the
Why are you embarrassed to say that?
Well, I feel like I should love this book. You guys have talked about it so much.
No,
I don't think so.
But by the end of this video, we want to talk about the book, what is trading, what is momentum trading, and how you can do it with the help of us. Go ahead, Paul. Tell me about this.
So I want to give a whole history of how this happened. So
Please do.
I have a couple friends of mine, and one of them is a day trader, and he sent me this book. And I looked at it, put it to the side, never touched it. Then we went to dinner. We went to lunch once. It was me, him, his name's Kevin, and our friend Michael Covel, who I adore, as we all know I adore. They started talking about this process of trading. And I was like, what the heck is he talking about? And Kevin said to me, he's like, I sent you the book. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that's what the book was. I thought it was just some boring book on charts, because charts didn't speak to me.
Yeah.
I went home that day. I read that book in 24 hours.
Just like that.
Because it spoke to me, Seth. If it doesn't speak to you, this is what I talk about when it comes to process. You need to find a process that speaks to you. If you do not, move on and find a different one. The process could be fundamental driven. The process could be charts driven. I tried charts, snooze for me. Mo has charts. He has 650, 700 people in his Bid-and-Ask Nation. They love it. I don't, but I like momentum trading. So here's the idea behind the Complete TurtleTrader. There was a trader back in the 80s who believed, and this is actually, funny thing is, Seth, this is based on, this is what they say that the movie Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy.
Oh, Trading Places.
Trading Places was based on this book.
Oh.
Because there were two partners who thought, one thought you're either a good trader, and another one thought, nope, you can be trained to be a good trader.
Yeah.
I believe it's kind of a combination, because I look at you, Seth.
Go on.
And over the last few years, you've become much more fundamentally based after listening to us over and over again.
Yeah, it might take some time if you're watching at home. It's taken me 3 years. I mean, I thought I knew what I was doing, Paul.
But you're also a scientist.
Go on.
And I think things like that kind of sit with you. He has a PhD in chemistry, waste of time, but he has it nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
So this book, what this guy did was, back in the early 80s, he made tons of money off trading. He put an ad in the newspapers and said, I'm going to teach you how to trade, and I'm going to give you a percentage of the profits. He got thousands of responses, hired like 20 people, I don't remember the exact number, and he put them in a room for 2 weeks, taught them trading, and then gave them money. And they all killed it. Who killed it the most? The person who stuck to the rules exactly, because people still deviated. The reason I like this book so much is it talked about the importance of staying to the system no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm.
He did futures contracts, not stocks. This is still applicable, but what it does basically is they believe, there's a saying in the world of trading, the trend is your friend. Their goal is to find trends, either positive trends or negative trends that you can short. As you find a trend, you add to the position in certain intervals, but there are rules for all these intervals. What are those rules? As it goes up X amount, you add to the position. As it goes down, you take away from the position. At a certain point, you exit the position. I highly recommend that if this is speaking to you right now, a set of rules that you live and die by, and you're comfortable taking big drawdowns, because there are periods of time where you might be down 40, 50% and still stick with it, this could be the right thing for you. This spoke to me immediately, because it's just a set of rules. With our software, we're going to make these rules programmed in so that you can get these rules that'll tell you what to do day in and day out. It uses futures in the Complete TurtleTrader because there's a certain amount of leverage that's inherent in futures, so you can make big money going up, and you can short. So you can make money in good markets and in bad markets. The point is you need volatility. With leverage, there's more volatility. But the interesting part of the book, Seth, and what do I preach to you all the time about the little book that beats the market?
Process
and sticking to it no matter what.
Yes.
No matter what. It's funny, in the book, the person who wrote the book said that the one person who did the best, who then left, started his own hedge fund and became a billionaire, he was the only one out of all the 20 who stuck to the rules 100%. In fact, there was one specific trade that he took that nobody else did, and the head bosses went to him and said, hey, everybody else didn't do it. Why? They thought that he figured something out amazing. He's like, well, that's what the rule told me to do, so I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like dumbfounded. Like, oh my God, that was all it was? He's like, yeah, I just stuck to the rules you guys gave me.
If you're dumbfounded by what Paul is saying right now, you can join our Patreon at a very entry level and learn how to trade. You will join Mo. in the Bid and Ask Nation. He will show you these rules, Mo. So, Paul, give us a more simplified version of what this style of trading really is to a viewer at home.
This trading is about a process. You stick to the process, you follow it, no matter what happens, and you make money in the long run. It has been proven time and time again that when you stick to this process or any process, it'll work over long periods of time if it has a certain fundamental belief into it. And with the Complete TurtleTrader, what they found was you can use positive and negative momentum to your benefit to make money in both markets. That is why this spoke so well to me. It spoke well to me because I can make money in good times, I can make money in bad times, and as long as I stick to the rules, I might be wrong 60% of the time, because in these trades, 60 to 65% of your trades will be losses, but your gains will far outweigh your losses. And that's the point with any sort of investing. It's about looking at your situation and saying, where do I get an edge? And when I have an edge, I increase my investment. In the Complete TurtleTrader, I love it because as momentum goes in your direction that you've bet, you're adding more to the position and you're going to ride that momentum out. A lot of these guys said that in their entire profit of the year was based on 5 or 6 trades. Mm-hmm. And that's what I love about this whole, it's process driven, it's rules driven, and if you stick to it, you will do very, very well. That's pretty simple.
Okay, great, Paul. So where can our viewers learn more about this process?
So in our link below, there's a link to the book off Amazon. If you just want to skip, I love the whole story, but if you just want to learn the rules, I think it's chapter 5 in the book, explains the rules from beginning to end. It is confusing. You need to reread it. I've reread it 7 or 8 times. I've read the book in full twice, but I've read that chapter 7 or 8 times. It can be confusing, but it's actually quite simple once you understand it. The fundamental belief is if you're betting long-term on an investment, as it goes up, you add to it. If you're betting against the investment, shorting, as it goes down, you add to it. It's very simple in that regard. We are going to make the software available for our users that they will be able to get the simplified version where we just tell them, go do this at this point. But the key will be, if you read the book, you will see, the key is never second guessing. Always do what the software will tell you to do. Because at the end of the day, the process is what matters. The book is wonderful. I would recommend starting from the beginning of the book, but if you just want to get an idea for the rules, I believe it's chapter 5 in the book. It explains the rules from beginning to end. Read it several times because there are certain things called N and momentum, all these things to understand. It sounds a lot more complicated than it is, but it's really quite simple. It's fundamentally just taking the momentum in whatever direction you've bet and adding to it as the momentum increases and taking away as it decreases.
Mo, this is pretty much your job in life, what you do on a daily basis, whether we're in Mexico or you're here. Why did this system speak to you so much?
So that is very different from the charts that I teach, but I like that one because it's very black box to me. You do what you're told and there's no thinking. That's the great thing about it. What I do is a little bit more subjective, but that's why that TurtleTrader speaks to me so much. So for me, I like value investing. I like trading on charts, and I really like this momentum trading with the TurtleTrader. It's a great book. You definitely should read it.
Paul, you and Mo are rather disciplined folks, and by not having not having a spouse or children that can perhaps shift your discipline and move your mind, is this something that a normal person like myself,
every turtle trader that I know that's been successful has a spouse and children? That has nothing to do with it. What you have to do with is, are you?
I mean, the discipline level. I do not have your discipline level.
Right, and so maybe you shouldn't do it because it does take that. You know, the black box thing, a lot of people try to argue the black box. So a black box investment strategy is, here are the rules, stick to it, don't even ask questions. Everyone wants to think that their decisions will make them better returns because it sounds terrible to think that something so simple in terms of following rules would make you more money. When in actuality, if you understand in the investment world, when you deviate and bring human subjectivity to the situation, you're actually hurting your returns. And that's why I liked it so much. I like picking individual stocks based on my assessments, but I also like my own black box way of buying stocks. Saying, Paul, pick the best stocks that fit these 3 or 4 criteria. And guess what? It beats the market. With turtle trading, Paul, follow these rules. Guess what? It beats the market. I'm comfortable with it. I look at, but it's just like, you know when I realized that I had this innate ability?
Go on.
The Blackjack Table. I used to go to play blackjack in high school. I'm sorry, not high school, in college and after college. And the thing that always amazed me was when I go to the blackjack table, they have a thing called basic strategy. It is computer generated millions and millions of hands that says, here are the rules, and how many people stuck to the rules. I only saw one person ever stick to the rules. Who was that?
Go on.
Me.
Of course.
Me. I'd be like, well, the dealer's showing 7, I have 16, I'm supposed to hit.
Right.
Other people are like, well, I just saw a lot of these cards. I'm like, it's continuous shuffle. What are you doing? But everybody would deviate. And then they'd say, see, I was right. Because I'm like, yeah, but you don't know how your decision here affects all your other hands in the future. And that's when I realized, now I look back and realize, oh my God, I had this black box investing strategy in me because I just stuck to the rule. The rules say do this and you lose less money. Well, then why would I ever deviate from the rules? Unless I'm like the MIT guys who had a scientific approach to it of saying, we're going to count cards and put the odds in our favor. Mm-hmm. And even then, it was on specific situations. That's what spoke to me so well.
If this speaks to you, feel free to click on the link below, join our Patreon. You can get the book. We will certainly do more videos about this book. Paul, you've talked me into it. My process actually for reading, I don't read a lot of books. I just made a note that I need to get the Audible file so I can read along when someone's reading to me, and I read a book way better with that help. So that's the process. I'm going to give this book another shot, and we will certainly do more videos, especially for our patrons on this topic, and keep you informed on turtle trading. So that's our take on this. Fondle the thumbs up on the way out, and patrons, you know I love you. See you next video, guys.